Happy Sunday evening. Let me know if my audio is horrible. I've been having some issues. But today we are going to be looking at some of the Travel Max testimony from expert witness Dr. Bill Keep. So in 1996, the state of Kentucky filed a lawsuit against Travel Max International, contending that Travel Max was a pyramid scheme under Kentucky laws, and the state secured a temporary restraining order. And under the state procedures, they had to set a formal hearing to determine if everything was good to go. And so the trial, I think, was between 96 and 97, and the state of Kentucky actually lost this, but the expert testimony is very interesting, and that would be cool to watch with you here. And I'm going to go ahead and roll the intro, and I'll be right back. All right, so I have the video pulled up, and I did grab it from YouTube. I just downloaded it, and I'm gonna play it separately. I didn't want to have streaming issues, so I hope I don't get kicked for this or flagged for it, but I think I'm covered under fair use, so just hope and pray. Okay, awesome. Audio's good. I'm going to share my screen. And this file is a little bit small. It was uploaded again. It's from 1997. So I'm going to do my best to make it as clear as possible. Let me try to make it bigger and see what that looks like. Thank you for your patience. I'm still trying to figure all this out. I'm going to try to move the sides in. So let's see how that looks. Not as good. That's okay. Is that okay for y'all? Let me see if I can make sure the sound is turned up. Okay. Sound's all the way up. I've turned it up higher on my USB, so hopefully that'll help. And I'm going to... They've cut it the way they've cut it. So he is basically explaining who he is. And the state of Kentucky is introducing him on the stand. And then the lawyer representing Travel Max is going to voir dire him as well. Let me know if the audio is okay in the chat.
I am literally blocked from sharing on Instagram. That's terrible. Anyway, what's going on? I want to teach a lesson from, first of all, hold on, let me discipline my disappointment and then. And I said, you know what one of the things is that I've noticed is
sorry everyone, Jesse Lee Ward was playing in the background. Oh my god, I apologize. Yeah, the quality is insane, and I think this was from videotapes. Let me just pull that back up again. I was like, why is she playing? Okay. Thank you guys.
What conclusions did you reach in that case?
All right, share screen again.
I concluded that it was not. There were aspects of what Gold Unlimited did that were retailing, and there were aspects of what they did that were not retailing.
Your Honor, at this time.
Yes, we did. I had downloaded a video from her earlier, and it was playing somewhere in the background, and it was just she's thwarting me at every level.
The Commonwealth would move that Dr. Keefe be recognized as an expert in the field of marketing.
Defense wish to voir dire this witness.
Yes, Your Honor. Dr. Keefe, is it K-E-E-P-E or K? I'm sorry.
It's K-E-E-P.
K-E-E-P.
Just like you keep something.
Okay. Dr. Keefe, you're a marketing professor, and obviously we recognize that. Would you agree, Dr. Keefe, that there are subspecialties in the area of marketing?
Absolutely,
Yes.
Melissa.
Okay. And would it be fair to say that the area of multi-level marketing has not been your area of expertise?
I would say that multi-level marketing is a part of my area of expertise. It's part of retailing, and retailing is my area of expertise.
Do you claim to be an expert in multi-level marketing?
So the guy who is voir diring him, I don't know the right term. My husband said that he might be open next time for part 2, sitting next to me so I could ask him questions, but he doesn't want to be on stream. But this guy in the middle is Jeff Babiner, and he's basically trying to set it up like Bill Keefe doesn't know what he's talking about. Yeah, he's like, keep, just like you keep something.
In some aspects of it.
What aspects?
I have examined and understand the motivations behind the use of multi-level marketing for the retailing of goods and services. I have not examined every different form of multi-level marketing because the forms vary a great deal.
Tell me the types of compensation plans that we find in the area of multi-level marketing.
The types of labels of them?
Yes.
I don't have labels of them.
What's a stair-step breakaway plan?
I don't know.
What's a matrix plan?
All right. I would assume it's
Well, I don't want to know what you
Okay,
assume.
I don't
but
know.
You know, what's a binary plan?
binary plans when you have people on each side of you that are generating volume that you're benefiting from.
Okay. You know that from the Gold Unlimited case.
Yes.
You learned really what you know about multi-level marketing from the Gold Unlimited case.
I had done some reading prior to that, but most of it, yes.
So I know that there's different levels of well, not levels, but there's different types of business models, and I certainly don't know all the different types. I'm sure he does now. This was when he was younger, and when he was I think just an associate professor at the University of is it at the University of Kentucky? And but since then he has helped a lot of other prosecution of multi-level marketing. My last name is Smith, so once I got people to spell my first name correctly, then it's a relief to have a generic last name. Yep.
And what did you do in preparation for Gold Unlimited other than review their program materials?
Oh, I did a literature search to see what else was out there in current literature on multi-level marketing, particularly as it pertained to what was and wasn't retail.
Tell me about some articles that you've read on multi-level marketing.
I don't have any labels right now, and that was about 8 months ago.
Well, you're here as an expert witness on multi-level marketing. You claim that you have some expertise on aspects of multi-level marketing. Tell me about some articles on multi-level marketing, published articles.
I don't have a title. I can't give you a title.
The Commonwealth would be happy, and I'm sure that the witness would also be happy to identify and submit that information at a later date if it's important.
Your Honor, I object. I'm in the middle of the voir dire, Your Honor.
Yeah, let's allow the defense to finish his voir dire.
Tell me what books you read on multi-level marketing.
There's a book, and I'm going to be pressed for the name of it.
This audio is a little rough, but and obviously the picture is a little rough. But it does get more interesting, and this guy's just trying to basically discredit Bill Keefe at the very beginning because that's his job.
Something to do, and again, I'm sorry, I apologize, I don't remember the title. It has to do with the social aspects of multi-level marketing.
Social aspects of multilevel.
In other words, that
Seriously.
part that's tied into doing business. The fun, this is business and this is fun.
You read this is the fun part of multilevel marketing, a book on that.
I read that the success of multi-level marketing hinges to some degree on the social aspect of person-to-person selling.
And did that book teach you to examine the structures of a multilevel marketing company?
Did not.
Any other books you read on multilevel marketing? No. Okay. You ever written? I noticed you indicate you published 7 articles.
I know this is a trial, but it definitely feels like my upline like telling me like, oh, I don't know what I'm talking about when like the compensation plan feels sleazy. Like, okay, got it, I got it, but for real.
You ever published an article on multilevel marketing?
No.
You ever taught a course on multilevel marketing? Have you ever attended a conference on multilevel marketing?
No.
No. Do you know who the Direct Selling Association is?
Yes.
Who are they?
A trade association that firms who conduct direct selling forms of retailing can belong to.
Yes. What is direct selling?
Direct selling is a form of retailing that relies upon person-to-person selling. Usually it's face-to-face, but it doesn't have to be.
Who are some of the prominent members of the Direct Selling Association?
Avon, Tupperware, Mary Kay.
Ooh,
You know what the
Mary Kay,
annual
shout
sales
out.
of Avon are?
No.
Mary Kay?
No.
Amway?
No.
You ever been to an opportunity meeting for a multi-level marketing company? You ever been in a multi-level marketing company?
Yeah, I have to take back my last name, so I have to change my last name. So
Throw
yes, a
back
long time ago,
Melissa.
I went to a meeting in someone's home when I was an undergraduate.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Was that an Amway presentation?
Yes.
I love that the lawyer knew exactly what presentation Dr. Bill Keep had been to, and he has a Ph.D. He's not a medical doctor. Yes.
You never attended a Travel Max meeting?
No.
Have you ever read the Travel Max manual, distributor manual?
I'm not sure what manual that is. There was a manual that.
You're right here. Have you ever seen this manual?
Yes.
You have?
Yes.
It wasn't introduced by the state as an exhibit.
I believe
It was not produced by the state in discovery. Are you
Sassy.
telling me that
I need to
I'm
see
going
the
to
cap.
have to. I'm going to have to object. Now, Travel Max, Mr.
Yes,
Mr. Babner's
1997.
client has not requested any discovery. I mean, this matter, as they noted for the record on yesterday by Mr. Pence. Now he's referring to a discovery which has not even been requested.
in all materials turned over by the state, Your Honor, this manual was never provided. You ever seen this manual?
Your Honor, our case in chief is not concluded at this point.
Well, I guess my question is, have you ever seen the manual?
Before I should said yes so quickly, I need to look at the contents. I saw material that looks like it fits in that manual, a manual of that size.
Holy
Yeah,
cow,
sure.
Melissa. Wow.
You ever talk to anybody at Travel Max?
No.
Ever talk to the corporate officials?
No.
Do you know who the chief financial officer is of the company?
I've seen his name.
What's his name?
I don't remember.
I don't
I read it in
remember.
a brochure.
Paisley?
I don't want to say for sure, but I read it in a
Do
brochure.
you know
that
what his
they had.
background is?
I know Mr. Babner is doing his job, but I'm just personally offended right now, and I'm just like, be nice, be nice.
I mean, other than,
25 years, partner, Cooper's Library,
oh, that rings a bell. Yes. Mhm.
highly credible credentials, right?
It's a highly credible firm.
Those are highly credible credentials, 25-year partner, Cooper's.
I don't know why he left. Those are highly credible.
Oh.
That's a highly credible firm. Well, then if you're under retirement conditions,
Your Honor, he's asking the witness to speak to questions that he has no idea. He's already asked the answer the question.
The objection sustained.
Sustain, bro.
Yes. I saw this material.
You reviewed this, okay? You reviewed their policies and procedures
Same.
Yes.
and the distributor agreement.
Yes.
You weren't planned as an expert witness for the initial hearing in this matter, were you?
I don't believe I was.
When were you contacted?
I don't remember. I was contacted sometime, I believe, in November or October. There was a long period of time of inactivity between when I was initially contacted and when we really sort of got rolling. My first meeting, well, you didn't ask about that, but I was contacted prior to December sometime.
Okay. Can you explain to me how the Amway compensation plan works?
I can explain. So there
If you
is,
want, you can go to the board and
Right.
to illustrate.
I won't be able to be specific enough in terms of the percentages. There's a shared percentage there's a percentage of margin based on volume that's shared among different participants in the program, depending on level. That's as specific as I can get.
That's all you know?
Yes.
You don't know how it would be characterized?
Why does it
No.
matter
You know what
it's
an
called?
Australian 2-up plan is?
No.
How many distributors are there in the United States in the direct selling industry?
I do not know.
What is the volume of sales of the
Yes.
direct selling industry in the United States?
I do not know.
How many distributors in the world are there in this particular area?
I do not know.
What is the difference between direct selling and multi-level marketing?
Direct selling is a term that encapsulates other forms of selling besides multi-level selling, multi-level marketing. But multi-level marketing would be considered a form of direct selling. So I would
Yes.
consider direct selling to be a more general term.
Yes, correct. Be nice, Mr.
Have
Back.
you ever participated in any case studies on multi-level marketing?
No.
Would you say that your background in multi-level marketing is rather academic,
I would say it's very academic.
nothing practical at all?
That's correct.
Certainly no hands-on.
That's
Okay.
correct.
And in an academic way, you've really reviewed very little of the literature in this industry. Is that not correct?
I don't know how much literature there is. I've reviewed some.
Yes. Well, you were able to name one book on the fun part of multi-level. What literature have you reviewed as to the structure of multi-level, as to whether or not it's legitimate or not legitimate?
It was part of the packet that I got from regarding the Gold Unlimited case. There were a couple of articles. I don't consider them to be literature in the sense that they weren't from academic. They weren't generated from academics.
Uber.
They were generated from the trade association or affiliated newsletters, things like that.
And there are many professors in the United States, Dr. Keith, who in fact do focus on the direct selling industry, are there not?
I don't know.
Well,
No, there are some. I don't know what you mean by many. Is there 100? Is there 1,000? Is there 10? I don't know. There are some.
what does the Direct Selling Education Foundation do?
They're a branch of the Direct Selling Association to promote, my guess, I have had some limited exposure to them, to promote research and understanding about the association.
They sponsor and fund case studies by professors all over the United States, do they not?
I believe they sponsor some.
They've published the list of those case studies. There have been scores or hundreds, have there not?
Okay, take a quick pause. Do y'all think that that association that's related to the direct selling association paying for these case studies can be trusted? I don't know. That just doesn't sound like something I'd be. I mean, I know Bill Keep's gonna say no, but I certainly don't. I mean, maybe I'm the only one.
I don't know.
You don't know. You don't know one way or the other.
That's right.
What are the case studies? What's the question there?
Case studies on direct selling, multi-level marketing, from a marketing economic standpoint.
It's DMA. It's a flag.
Have you ever been asked by the Direct Selling Education Foundation to participate in a
guess.
case study?
State of Kentucky doesn't have a mute button. You can hear him
Now,
whispering.
Dr. Keep, let's just say I, as a lawyer, a trial lawyer in the field of direct selling, was preparing for a case involving multi-level
certainly would have
marketing,
questions.
trying to determine whether or not something was a proper multi-level marketing structure or not. And I came to you and I said, I'm looking for a professor that has real expertise in multi-level marketing. That would not be you, would it?
Depends on what they wanted to know about it. I would have to say that there would be conditions where I would refer them to somebody else.
You'd have to say that you're not one of the more qualified guys on multi-level marketing in the United States. You'd have to agree with that.
Yes, I would agree with that.
As a matter of fact, Dr. Keep, you're not an expert in this subject, are you?
What
I
a
think I already
brat.
answered that question.
What was your answer?
My answer was there are some aspects of it
Oh,
I
you
feel
told
very
me those
comfortable
aspects.
about.
Excuse, can the witness, can he finish his question?
Your Honor, I think the witness should be allowed to finish his
Finish his
response
response,
before
I
another
agree.
question is asked.
Sorry, Your Honor.
Yeah.
For the record, could you repeat the question and allow the witness to respond?
Yeah, let him finish his
I had a
answer.
court reporter, I'd asked him to read it.
Oh, what a brat. You're a brat.
I know one question was, you don't consider yourself an
That's in
expert, and I
my
believe you said you
opinion.
already
That's
answered
not
that, and maybe
the
that's
truth.
when you were
Sorry.
gonna explain, is that,
I think it was shortly after that, Your Honor.
you recall what you were about to say, Dr. Keep?
Only to repeat what I said earlier, that I thought there were some aspects of multi-level marketing that I feel very comfortable analyzing and talking about and defending my opinions upon, and I consider them to be expert opinions.
Tell me about,
Mr. Babner is a multi-level marketing lawyer, from what I understand. He also has a website where he posts about information about promoting like multi-level marketing. And it's his job to try to not get the expert witness like able to speak to the part of the case that the state of Kentucky wants them to. So he's doing his job for sure. But he also is an expert in the field of like actual like business and marketing. And so he can speak to that. And he starts holding his own a little more. But again, this is Mr. Babner's job right now to not get him at least able to sit as an expert.
the Kentucky pyramid statute.
I can't quote it verbatim. It deals with
Yeah,
the-
Jeff Babner.
The legal issues aren't something I would consider myself to be an expert on. It deals with the why people engage in certain kinds of activities, of products and incentives and those kinds of things. I'm the wrong person to ask.
You're the wrong person to ask. Okay.
Ooh,
So in
really?
deciding whether or not, or coming to a decision as to whether or not something is a legitimate multi-level marketing structure or a pyramid, you would be the wrong person to ask. Is that correct?
I would not make a decision as to whether or not something is a pyramid scheme. Is that the question?
No. My question is,
Okay.
so in trying to determine whether or not something was a legitimate multi-level marketing enterprise or a pyramid, you would be the wrong person to ask.
Does your word legitimate mean legal?
Yes.
Ooh, get it.
I do not make legal decisions, so
Yeah, 'cause
yes.
he's
the
not a
answer is
lawyer,
yes, I would
Mr.
be the wrong
Babs.
person to ask.
And if I were just to take out the word legal, I was just trying to understand in the context of the direct selling industry what is regarded in the industry as legitimate multi-level marketing
No.
versus pyramid. You would be the wrong person to ask.
I can't speak
Yes,
for
it
the
is.
industry.
You can't speak for the industry. So you would be the wrong person to ask.
Yeah.
He's not a lawyer.
And in terms of asking you the factors, because there are many factors that would go into determining whether or not an organization was legitimate, and I say legitimate in the business term, legitimate multi-level marketing business, you would agree there'd be many factors. You just can't make a determination on one factor.
Well, I don't understand your use of the word legitimate in the business sense. I mean, legitimate, is this a legal business operation? Is this a profitable business operation?
Yes.
I can answer questions about margins and profits and incentives and commissions. I don't understand the use of the word legitimate.
Get it.
Do you know what the
Dr. Keep.
70% rule is?
Yes,
It's an important rule in the industry, is it not?
yes.
What is it?
It means that for any person in the organization, the multi-level organization, 70% of the products or services they buy have to then be wholesaled or resale on.
Well, that's not correct.
Okay.
That's not
Yes,
correct.
I
is
do
it?
too.
Your Honor,
You're telling me it's not.
the witness has answered the question. He has given the explanation called for in the question, and counsel is now challenging the witness as to whether his response is correct or not.
Well,
Yep.
that's not correct. Is that
He needs to be the witness.
Your Honor, if Mr. Babner would like to testify, as an
I haven't
expert witness,
finished my
perhaps,
question.
that's what the defendants should do. Is put
I'm
in
gonna let him finish his question. Why don't you
Yeah.
explain to the witness what you believe
the 70% rule, Dr. Keep? Do you know where that rule comes from?
I know that it's associated with the Amway case. I don't know if that's the first association.
What is the Amway case?
There's a case where the Amway organization was accused of illegal operations. I believe that the illegality was a charge of a pyramid scheme, and it was a case in which they successfully defended themselves.
1975, Amway was accused of being an illegal pyramid scheme, just like TravelMax is here. And in the final decision, what was the basis that it was found that Amway was a legitimate multilevel marketing company?
I can't give you the single basis. I believe that there were a number of issues.
Interrupting makes me want to claw my eyes out. We may have to go to court for something in the nearest future, and I'm called to the stand and get interrupted. I'm going to get held in contempt. Well, I mean, I'm sending as many good vibes your way, Melissa, as possible, because we do not want you to get fined by the judge, for sure.
Issues that Amway, a number of aspects of Amway's practices that meant that they had not violated the law,
Such as?
Not requiring inventory loading. In other words, that a person would have to accumulate a lot of inventory. My understanding of the 70% rule, making sure that 70% of your product moved on in a wholesale or a retail format,
Okay.
one or the other.
Thank you, Dr.
And
Keep. Okay, go ahead.
you asked me such as, and also that every month the sale of there'd be a retail sale of products to at least 10 individuals.
Okay. And if I were to tell you, Dr. Keep, and I think we've already marked into evidence the Amway 70% rule, that the Amway 70% rule does not provide that you must sell 70% of everything on to ultimate non-participants, but merely that you must, before reordering, you must either have used or you must have sold 70% of what you bought. Would that be? Can
Mr.
I
Babner
finish
is
my
testifying.
question?
I'm at a
Would
loss
that-
for where the question is.
Well, I believe what he's saying is what his understanding of the 70% rule is, seeing if your expert agrees.
Yeah. Would that refresh your recollection as to what is the Amway 70% rule?
It would seem what you have added to my explanation was that the person could also use that.
Yes.
Okay, I'll accept that, yes.
Yes. Okay. It is not a retailing rule. It's an anti-inventory loading rule. Is that not correct?
I would consider it an anti-inventory loading rule.
Yes. And the 10 retail sale rule, similarly in the Amway program, references purchases either that are made by non-participants or purchases made for personal or family use.
I would consider that
Correct.
correct.
Yes. Thank you.
I feel like he is holding his own, and he's remaining pretty calm. And obviously, Babs does this for a living. So, and this is very early on, and I think in Dr. Bill Keep's career. Just go through your notes. Whoa, this is changing scenes so much. It's
Your Honor.
making me sick.
With all due respect to Dr. Keep, we would recognize that he is a marketing professor, but we would also argue that he is not an expert in this field.
The sass.
And we've introduced experts in this field, Your Honor, and with the sort of credentials Your Honor is familiar with. This gentleman doesn't teach it. He doesn't write on it. He doesn't study it. He is familiar with
Real
a book
business
about
models?
the social aspects of multi-level marketing. He has vague familiarity with legislation, with case authority. He doesn't participate in trade associations on
Why
on
would
this subject.
you need to?
He doesn't counsel companies on this subject. He has
Why
no
would he need
practical
to?
experience other than attending an Amway meeting in college. With all due respect to Dr. Keith, we would argue that he is not an expert witness.
Oh, Babs.
Your Honor, first of all, the rules here are very liberal in terms of who's to be recognized as an expert. Now, Dr. Keith, we were asked to come and share his opinions in the marketing area in terms of how products get to the market. Now, Dr. Keith has testified that he is familiar with the manner in which some direct selling or network marketing companies get those products to market. We believe that that testimony is relevant. On the legal question of is this a legal multi-level marketing or legal direct selling program versus an illegal one in terms of violating the pyramid statute, that decision is ultimately up to this court. Dr. Keith should not be excused as a witness. Now, let's talk about the experts that the defense has called. The defense called Professor King. Now, Professor King testified that he has consulted, in many cases, who has he consulted for?
Yes.
He has consulted for companies that have been accused of violating either statutes that relate to fraud or statutes that relate to pyramiding.
I object, Your Honor. That is a misrepresentation.
Oh, whatever. Sit down, Babs.
Did not Dr. King testify that he is providing consulting on Fortuna Alliance?
Dr. King testified that was only one aspect.
His
background was being an expert.
His bid is in the record, Your Honor.
Yeah, I've got notes of his testimony.
Is not the FTC suing Fortuna Alliance?
Your Honor, Dr. King has been qualified as an expert accepted by the state.
No,
a gentleman who has taught direct selling for 5 years at the University of Illinois, who consults with companies on this subject, who writes on this subject, conducts accredited university courses on this subject, has familiarity with this subject. He is also a marketing professor. But, Your Honor, this gentleman knows as much about multi-level marketing as you do and as the investigator does. He has vague notions.
He just said he knows as much about multi-level marketing as you do, Judge. That's so rude. That's so rude.
He is a marketing professor. I will not take that away, but he has vague notions about this subject.
This witness has not presented what their opinions are at this point, and counsel is simply speculating as to what he thinks those opinions are. Counsel is speculating as to what questions we will ask of Dr. Keith if he is qualified as an expert. But let's leave Dr. King. Let's go to Mr. Let's look at some of your exhibits that they put on.
Let me
expert.
Let me short circuit this.
Yes, sir.
Good. Let's do that.
All that's required for an expert witness to testify is superior knowledge to the finders of fact. That being me, that doesn't require much. So this witness has testified that he considers multi-level marketing a part of his expertise. I think the question here would go more to weight, and your arguments would go more to weight than they would in his acceptance as an expert, particularly given the fact that he was recognized as an expert in an identical, not an identical fact situation, but an identical case situation. So, I mean, I appreciate your arguments. I understand where they're coming from, and I understand both sides, but I'm going to hear his testimony. He may give opinions.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Judge. Literally wait your turn. Stop talking over each other.
Dr. Keith, were you in the courtroom when the video and audio tape was played of the September 24, 1996 TravelMax presentation?
Yes, I was.
Do you have any?
Oh, and just if everyone doesn't know, TravelMax is a like travel agency MLM. It's wild. And I think they went out of business. I had to look, and one of the articles said they had to close their doors, but again, this is about a travel agency multi-level marketing company.
Opinions as to the content of that presentation.
What? Did we pause? Hold on. Oh gosh darn it. Let me grab the next video real quick. because I don't want to stop it just there. Let's see. I'm going to remove this, and I'm going to grab the other video real quick. And hopefully Mr. Babner doesn't strike my YouTube video. Dr. Bill Keep. All right. You know what? I'm just going to play it off of the YouTube page. Share screen, Chrome tab. I think this is the next one. Okay. Whoops.
Explain his answer, but I want to know what assumptions are being made. When you say from what you expected, I'm not sure I understand what you're saying there. From you expected from an ordinary retailer or a multi-level marketer, does it matter? I mean, you're really going.
I think the witness indicated in his answer that he.
Okay, these are a little screwed up. Let me just double check one thing. Kyle. The way that these were clipped, some of them, I'm just double checking because it has, let's see, part 1. We're looking at part 2 right now. I'm just double checking that it's pulling the correct.
Explain his answer, but I want to know what assumptions.
All right. Okay. Sorry. We'll continue.
He would look to see if there are factors which focus on retailing versus something else. Do the factors in terms of the flow of the money, does the flow of the money give people the incentive to do retail selling or something else? If I'm not mischaracterizing
does the flow of the money give them the incentive to do something else?
Sure.
Dr. Keep, when I hear the term flow of money, I'm picturing in my mind looking at financial records, money flow sheets, balance sheets, sales records. You're nodding your head to every one of those comments. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think flow of money is a very general term that can include.
So I guess my question here is, have you reviewed any financial records of TravelMax?
Your Honor, we would stipulate that no financial records have been provided because we have not received any discovery from TravelMax.
That's the question.
Mm-hmm.
I have not reviewed any financial statements of TravelMax.
Okay. Have you reviewed any sales records of TravelMax?
Not records per se.
Have you reviewed any of the company's sales genealogy printouts for company representatives in the United States?
I reviewed a genealogy. I believe it was a company printout.
Are you familiar with the sales volume at all of any type of product of travel?
Why would it matter about the sales volume? Like, obviously, all multi-level marketing companies, from the most part, are doing well because their sales people are buying the product, and that would make their sales volume all good. I don't understand that. So do they make money selling or recruiting? Yeah, I think I put that up earlier.
This is cross-examination. It seems to me that we should be at least allowed to.
Yeah, you're a little out of order here. I want to ask that question myself.
My objection is that this witness is about to testify give his opinion on the flow of money. Now, Your Honor is already qualified to hear his opinions, but I would object to him giving an opinion about something he knows nothing about and has no basis.
Your Honor, we would ask the witness to provide whatever basis supports whatever conclusions are.
My concern, Your Honor, is he's giving all of his testimony in the abstract and the academic.
But here's what I expected I was going to here's what I thought the question was
Yeah.
about. First of all, I might be wrong, but I didn't even take it for a moment to be, has he looked at the flow of money within the Travel Max company, the California company, and, you know, how the money goes there. I mean, what I had in my mind is that you're going to explain how when an individual signs up, and particularly when an individual signs up on one of the tri-pack deals or takes all three of them, how they're compensated later when they sell it again, or somebody else buys it, and how that works. I mean, am I correct? Is that what you were about to?
Yes, Your Honor, and how that acts as an incentive for future activity. Because is that activity, they asked me to look at it, is this activity retailing?
Yes.
And so I looked at the incentives associated with that activity to see if that, in my opinion, is retail.
Your Honor, in that event, I would object that this witness has been qualified to testify about retailing, but knows nothing about the business opportunity of multi-level marketing.
Your Honor,
And hasn't indicated that he
Your Honor, I
has
mean,
that.
defendants want it both ways. They want to stand before this court and convince you that these are retail products, but an expert in the area of marketing and retailing cannot express an opinion as to whether or not the true focus
Get it.
of these so-called products is retailing or something else.
Yes. Good
They
point.
can't have it both ways, Your Honor.
Yes.
I'm gonna let him answer. Sheriff, wherever you are.
I apologize, Your Honor.
It's all right.
Whatever it is, we're sorry.
Would you get? I think you wanted to chop the board there.
Either one of those would do fine.
Oh, okay. Would you
Ooh.
bring the?
Okay.
This
So he's
around.
gonna draw something, and here's part 3. I don't know why he cut him up like
And yet,
this.
the participants in the program.
I think a little this of this skewed. I'm just gonna. I'm sorry for this. It's a little bit skewed. Let me.
Continue to generate large commissions, larger than they would be able to
think that was
generate
out
in the
of
same
order,
period of
unfortunately.
time
Sorry.
by booking travel.
Now, is it your opinion that when you look at the what has been identified as Plaintiff's Exhibit 5, the genealogy report, is it your opinion that appears to be the focus of what Mr. Bill Johnson was doing here?
That simply indicated to me that he was building his downline fairly fast. It looked like, but I couldn't tell for sure. I mean,
Now, did you see the portion of the videotape that was played on yesterday where Mr. Johnson was referred to as the leader?
yes.
Okay, and there was some reference to a group called the Four Horsemen.
Yes.
The 4
Would it be reasonable to
horsemen?
conclude that the goal of Mr. Johnson and the Four Horsemen was to get as many people signed up to purchase tri-packs as quickly as possible?
Is this a joke? Mr. Johnson and the 4 Horsemen was a team in multi-level marketing in this Travel Max company? What? Oh my gosh, yes. Y2K. This is a throwback. Oh my god. So, funny story. My husband's dad was into coding and stuff, and he had to they spent years trying to fix the computer, so when 2000 came around, that all the systems and stuff wouldn't crash.
Would that be your expert opinion from all the evidence you've seen today?
Objection, Your Honor. We've got, again, the opinion being given by Mr. Turner.
Literally.
One, this has been asked and answered.
I mean,
Two,
yeah.
it's a continuation of the
No one's selling in a bathtub, right, with glitter and bath bombs and stuff, so it's not as weird as that, for sure.
same question.
Your Honor, we withdraw the question. I have no further questions.
Cross.
Dr. Keith, I was just noting some of your last comments. Based on incentives here, the primary focus is not to retail travel, but to sell these other products. Is that correct?
No. The incentive here is to get people to buy packs that are interested in getting other people to buy packs.
Ooh.
Now, you keep referring to these as packs. The company refers to these as products.
I appreciate that.
These are products, are they not?
These are products, yes.
The VIP
Why does
getaway
it matter?
package is in fact a product.
It is a product.
Were you able to hear the testimony of Mr. Anlick?
I'm not sure when
It's a
was it.
product that stands on its own, does it not, as a consumer product?
No,
It does not.
I have not seen evidence of that product being sold in the marketplace.
Would you be surprised that one of our earlier witnesses, one of the foremost experts in the travel industry, testified that the VIP package?
And I'm going to object to the characterization as foremost experts. I don't think the court reached a conclusion. In fact, I have some very serious questions about the time of Mr. Anlick directly to the creation of both these programs. Mr. Anlick dared to be great, and now he wants to dare everybody else to stop it.
Ooh,
Thank you, Mr. Turner.
get it. Very
Would you
fiery.
would you be surprised that an expert in the travel industry, recognized by this court as an expert in the travel industry, testified that the VIP pack is a valuable and viable product?
No.
I would not be surprised that someone saw, an expert I recognize by this court, saw that to be a valuable product. I also see that to be a valuable product.
Thank you. Products like that are sold in the marketplace, are they not?
Products like that are sold in the marketplace.
But not that product, but not that product.
You would regard the travel tutorial product as a viable and valuable product?
I would regard the tutorial product as having value. I don't know how viable
Burn.
it would be in the marketplace, but I believe it has value.
Well, do you know, is Travel Max the first company to market these travel tutorials in the marketplace?
No, I don't believe they are.
They're readily available, as a matter of fact. These sorts of travel tutorials, people spend thousands of dollars to go to travel schools for such education, do they not?
I have no knowledge of that, but that wouldn't surprise me.
It isn't your area of expertise.
Ooh,
Travel is not.
Bad.
And in
Stop
fact,
it.
people spend this much or more every day to buy travel tutorials.
I don't like his argument that people spend this much or more every day, so this isn't that bad. I just don't appreciate that. And I just feel like it's an eye roll of an argument.
Like travel tutorial.
Who's testifying here?
No,
They don't
I
have their
think
mute button on.
Mr. Vander is again trying to testify. I think the witness has answered the question. The witness has indicated that they're not familiar with all of these
Your Honor,
courses.
this is cross. I have a right to lead the witness, and I object to this continued.
You don't have a right to
Bad
testify for the witness.
I know who the witness is. He can lead. You can suggest the answer, in your question, and I'm listening to what the response is. So you may ask the question. Go ahead.
Ooh. That's a lot
Would
of
you
leeway.
ask me that again?
I wish I could remember what. We were talking about the travel tutorial, and basically what I was saying to you, sorry for throwing that.
People pay for travel agent training to become a travel agent. That is very different than buying travel tutorials from a multi-level marketing company. Absolutely. And I think Travel Max was basically making a cheaper version to like show people how to book or be able to provide that service, but I can't imagine that it didn't become a recruiting thing, even though they lost in Kentucky, or Kentucky lost.
Either. What I was saying was the tutorial is a viable and valuable product, is it not? As it is priced.
I'm uncomfortable with the word valuable, and I'm uncomfortable with saying as it is priced.
I'm uncomfortable with the word valuable. Yes. Just want to save all these quotes for later.
I believe the product has value. I have no evidence. I did not conduct a survey of this tutorial versus others that are in the marketplace.
Well, Dr. Keith, you spent a lot of time basically as a marketing expert coming to the conclusion as to what was the motivating factor as to why these distributors bought this product, why they bought this product. And let me ask you, as a marketing professor who was doing a survey of the motivation of individuals in buying a product, would it be helpful to do either a focus study or to interview
I would
any
love to
of the
know.
purchasers? Would that contribute at all to your opinion?
I'm not a strong believer in focus groups or surveys, depending. Okay, I'm not a strong believer in focus groups or surveys to determine value.
Ooh. Yes.
What determines value?
The marketplace.
The marketplace does.
So if I were to show you that these particular products were sold.
That is just such a timely point. The marketplace determines the value. And literally, a lot of these products in multi-level marketing companies cannot survive in the real marketplace.
In the Wall Street Journal, in the Robb Report, as has been already admitted into evidence.
Your Honor, may I ask what products he's referring to?
Yeah, what products are you
Are you referring to Travel Max
Travel
products
tutorial.
or some other products?
Travel tutorial type products, which basically has been testified to by Mr. Alec is substantially the same product.
Your Honor, we would object to the characterization of substantially the same product. We objected when these exhibits were offered as to them being offered for the truth for what's contained in those documents. Those documents were simply introduced by the defendant to establish that there were correspondence courses that charge a price somewhat in the range of what Travel Max charges for this particular product.
Your Honor, Mr. Alec testified that he knows these products, and he compared the products.
You may proceed.
Oh.
So these products are sold in the Wall Street Journal, Robb Report, and other publications for the same or similar price as Travel Max. Would you not agree?
I will accept that sales take place. I don't know if they're the same kind of product.
Ooh.
Well, let's assume for the moment, not just assume, it's in evidence, that in fact it is the same type of product at the same or higher price. What does that tell you about the value?
Your Honor, there's no foundation, there's no evidence in the record that compares that in terms of what that product is, the intellectual value of that product compared to the intellectual value of the product that is in evidence. We think if Mr. Vander wants to talk about the ITA tutorial offered by Travel Max, which is right there, and the witness can look at it, that's one thing. But to have him speculate as to the content of a correspondence course that he's not reviewed.
I thought his witness testified that he had reviewed it and it was the same kind of.
Yes, you did, Your Honor. That was the evidence. It is an evidence.
Well, I think we need to look at the transcript on that point, my recollection of that witness testimony, and my objection when that exhibit was offered was as to it being limited to what they offered it for, and that was simply that there were other correspondence courses that charge a price roughly equivalent to the pricing in this instance, and I think you accepted it into evidence for that purpose and no other purpose.
Well, it's been some time since he testified, so I'd have
Oh
to go
my
back
gosh,
and-
this
and
judge
look.
is making me cry a little bit. And if every small town in Kentucky is full of Travel Max reps, where's the market? This is before social media marketing, so it was very limited. Yes, and it was in multiple states. The state of Kentucky was just the one that brought this against Travel Max, I think. Let me look really quickly and see if there's any more information. That's just an ego trip paragraph. So I think that Kentucky went against Travel Max in their state because of the laws that were in place. From what I understand, it was in multiple states at that time.
But I think what he's asking him to do is assume that the two are substantially the same.
Your Honor, I think if you read the document on global travel international in and of itself, there are distinctions between the program. I can note some of those distinctions for you. I was planning to bring them out through another witness after we concluded with Dr. Keith, but
Okay.
I think
there are differences.
I made my point, Your Honor. What I was trying to get at, Dr. Keith, is you said based on incentives, the primary focus is not to retail travel, but to sell these other packs. And all I'm trying to tell you, all I'm trying to ask you to agree with me.
we think that that's what you're doing.
You
Exactly.
would,
Your Honor,
Melissa.
Your Honor, I think this is
Absolutely
very rude on the part of Mr. Turner, and this is not necessary.
Babs, stop
I
it.
didn't interrupt his example.
Yes, you did.
All right, let's make specific objections that we have them, and not editorialized at this point. You may proceed with your question. Did you have an objection right there? I mean, I know it's your
My
objection.
objection is that Mr. Babner continually is testifying as opposed to asking a question, whether he, irrespective of the form in which he asks that question, and we just ask him to form his
Oh, don't
questions in
sigh.
the form of a question that the witness can respond to, as opposed to his elaboration or comments about what the standard happens to be.
I mean, he may make a statement, and so long as it has something to do with this case, and ask the witness if he agrees or disagrees.
Yes, we think that's appropriate, Your Honor.
Right.
Dr. Keith, you said that based on incentives, the primary focus is not on the sale of retail travel, but the sale of these packs.
What I'm asking you to agree with, see, now I'm not going to do it. Exactly. Well, let me just read this really quickly to you guys. So Jeff Babner, the lawyer that's going against the state of Kentucky, he's the principal attorney of his law firm. For 3 decades, he has advised leading U.S. and foreign companies in the direct selling industry, including many members of the Direct Selling Association. He has served as advisor to such leading companies as Avon, Herbalife, Nu Skin, USANA, Melaleuca, Excel Communications, ACN, Nikken, etc. Are you kidding me? He has served on the Lawyers Council and Government Relations Committee of the U.S. Direct Selling Association and as general counsel and board member for the Multilevel Marketing International Association. No, sir. Okay. I might just have to do a better video on Mr. Babner.
And the underlying assumption of what you just said is that you're giving the impression that these packs, which we've now identified as the VIP, which you agree is a product, and the tutorial is a product.
Yes.
The underlying assumption is that the purchase of those as products is somehow not the sale of products.
Correct.
And that unless this company only sells travel bookings, it isn't in the business of retailing. It is retailing these products, is it not? As well as travel bookings. Is that not
There are
correct?
some retail activities going on here, including those products and including travel bookings. I agree with that.
Okay. In fact, there are very significant retail activities, and in your terms, retail. But we can both agree that in multi-level marketing organizations, retail means sales outside the network as well as sales to end users who are in the network. Can we agree on that?
Yes. I
Yes,
don't agree with
he
your word,
helps keep
use
them
the
in
word
business,
significant, but
essentially.
I do agree with your later statement that selling inside and outside the network are both part and parcel of multi-level or network marketing.
They are. As a matter of fact, the Kentucky statute, one of the few statutes in the United States, recognizes personal use, sales for personal use, as basically exempted from the payment of consideration in a pyramid, does it not?
Call for a legal opinion, Your Honor.
Well, there is the sale of the product and there is the signing up of other representatives under you, which involves the new rep purchasing materials from the company, which you make a bonus on. Yep.
The statute speaks for itself.
And it's also, are these travel agent people in the multi-level marketing company, are they actually selling a service that people are using, or are those people seeing the benefit that the person above them is getting and they want to receive that? So they're not actually utilizing that tutorial. They're selling it to someone else. You know what I mean? Like, are they actually using the tutorial the way a true product would be used? And I don't think so.
Your Honor, I don't know if the witness has read this.
You wouldn't disagree with that, would you?
My recollection is that use is part of it.
It's one of the more liberal statutes regarding the recognition of personal use within a network of any statute in the country, is it not?
I don't know that.
As a matter of fact, in leading companies such as Amway or Shackley, the majority of product is used personally by distributors. Is that not
Because
correct?
they
I
are
believe
the
that to be true.
customers.
Particularly Shackley.
Now, you indicated that
Yes.
one of the concerns you had was because of the extent of personal purchases or purchases for personal use of these products by distributors. And you will agree, Dr. Keep, that these distributors weren't buying volumes of these tutorials. They bought one.
That's correct.
And they bought one VIP if they wished.
Yes, that's
Correct.
my impression.
Of course, as you read the literature, you also discovered, Dr. Keep, did you not, that you could sign on, buy a $25 sales kit, not pay a fee, but buy a $25 sales kit, get the sales manual, and you could only be an order taker. You didn't have to buy anything. You could just go out and take orders for products.
Hold on. I'm going to ask Alexa a question real quick. Okay, let me look this up because I want to know how much $25 would translate to. Okay, that's still not bad. So it was like 47.43 today. So it's an increase of 22.43. That's not bad.
Could you not?
I was not clear on what activities that you could or couldn't engage in, or how much commission associated activity. That I was not clear.
You didn't read the materials very carefully because they point out that you may either sell or you may take orders. And you may sell the product or you may buy it for resale.
Well, pardon me.
Show me where you're referring to if it's in there. So
The Commonwealth will stipulate that the promotional materials by TravelMax do present 3 methods by which.
Your Honor, I don't need that stipulation.
Okay.
Too late. Okay. We're looking at what is the compensation plan brochure. You've seen this,
Yes.
correct? Okay. And it indicates basically you join the company. Of course, you pay $25, you get a sales kit.
Okay.
That is universally recognized in the direct
Me
selling
too.
industry is how you get into a direct selling company, is it not?
I'm
Based
more
on your-
comfortable with your word universal.
Well, based on your scanty experience in the direct
Your
selling
Honor,
industry.
I object to the characterization using the adjective.
Oh no, what happened? All right. Well, you know what I'm going to try to do? I'm going to try to
Guess what
get
I
a
was saying.
better recording and stitch it together, and I'm going to go live tomorrow to and let's see. Nope. Not working. Some of that obviously is from a VHS tape, and whenever he copied it over, it wasn't very clear. Maybe his tapes are corrupted, but I'm going to try to do something on my end to make it more seamless. So, because it looked like there were parts missing, and I think that was accidental on his part. So I'm going to go back to the website and pull it for tomorrow and do the next half, and maybe Dave will be able to answer some questions. Are there any other like cases that y'all would be interested in watching if I can find some of the video for it? Or I didn't know if y'all had any that you had heard about. I've heard of an interesting one with Young Living. I was reading some of the suit on that one, and it connects with the book fiasco that happened in February with My Word Made Flesh. TravelMax is I don't think it's any in business any longer. I did find a website where TravelMax was posting about ketones, and I was like, I don't know what's going on here. So I don't think that's the same company. And I am a small fish in a very large internet pond. So best I can do is find some of these videos and respond to them, because I no big person in the field is going to give me the time of day. I think it would be interesting. I think a lot of them settle and don't end up in court, though. True. But one of the cases that I downloaded off of Pacer has all the screenshots and the links still. They did settle, but all of the evidence is still in the initial like filing and like the amendments or whatever that are in there. So I thought it might be interesting to read through it and then pull the YouTube clips that they're referencing so we can like read and watch together, if that might be interesting for you. But I didn't know like what company would be the best for you guys. Connection is unstable. Hooray. Well, let me know. Okay, cool. Yes, we love some juicy details. And I will make sure to redact everything, but I love a good YouTube link that's hyperlinked in a PDF. So I'll go ahead and grab some of those, and we can finish the Travel Max trial tomorrow. And if you're part of the replay crew, you're the best. Thank you all for hopping on live. And let's see. Jodi Arias herself and the guy she killed, they were both in an MLM. The trial is on YouTube. Ooh, that's very interesting. Holy cow. Okay, I'll have to look that up too. And also maybe see if one of the other creators wants to comment with me or something. But again, I'm very small, so sometimes I just gotta go live by myself. That's very good information. Thank you so much. Well, y'all have a good evening, and if you so interesting. That's so good. If you wouldn't mind, I'd love for you to do the YouTube-y things, like the video. If you're not already subscribed, I'd love to see you next time. And I love getting to talk to you guys during these lives or even in the comment section. So I think we are not fan of Babs, but if you're a fan of Babs, that's great. It's just interesting watching them do their work in this setting. So I will see you guys tomorrow for the other half, and potentially a special guest answering giving us some clarity on some things. So have a good evening. Bye.